Okay, good morning, folks, and welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5:01 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time, June the 23rd. So, overnight, we had news that came out that was, I think that there was damage control done. Peter Navarro, the president's trade advisor, came out with a comment, or at least it was published by Zero Hedge and a few other media outlets, that the trade deal was done, complete, finite, didn't exist. And the president himself walked it back. The future sold off really, really hard. And after a few minutes of damage control, the markets then rebounded, and we find ourselves where we are right now. I'll go through the futures in a moment. So we've seen over the past several days at around, not that this was the case last night, it wasn't, but around 2:30 in the morning, you're seeing odd buying come in, probably out of Belgium or something like that. Probably the plunge protection team bidding the market back up off the lows. When I fell asleep last night, the futures were flirting with a rollover yet again. They had gone red, but by this morning, all is well with the world. So let me say good morning. Good morning, NY Jets, RL, Chuck. Chuck's comment, I'm afraid to think of how this is all going to end. Can we just keep up every day? If volume is any indicator, the answer is it's beginning to wane a little bit here. Good morning, Bob. My S&P and NASDAQ shorts were going really well last night until they weren't. Yeah, I hear you. All right, let's do some checking in with the futures market. We're going to do 4-hour charts as we normally do and drill down as necessary. Bonds, oddly enough, or not so oddly enough, are down this morning. That means yields are up. Go figure. Let's go with the dollar. You're seeing dollar weakness here. It continues. The NASDAQ 100, which led again yesterday, Jesus, up a half percentage point. Incredible. Here's where the news came out overnight, and then they bounced it back. Here we are yet again. Incredible. The Russell, they continue to squeeze the shorts on the small caps, up spot 7% on the morning. It looks as though they're going to break out the small caps, absent some news, especially if the Chinese don't want Trump back in. The last thing they want in this world is a President Trump second term. They want Joe Biden. And I think that you're going to just see more volatility from here. Lord knows what they're going to say, what they're going to do, whether it be overt, covert, who knows. Let's go to where are my S&Ps? Good morning, Tommy. Yeah, I think it did close. It did confirm yesterday. We'll take a look at that chart. Loving gold. Silver had a rough go of it yesterday. But I think that's going to change. So again, here was the retest. Yesterday we broke out on the S&P 500. That news from Navarro allowed for a retest of support, setting the stage for a continuation move higher, which we have. We're up over a half percentage point this morning. The question is, do we close here? And the key to watch, again, is volume. Gold this morning up shy of a quarter percentage point. Sure, Oliver. Good morning. Yeah, nice breakout here on gold. With all this insanity going on, whether it be global, whether it be domestic, whether it be fiscal, all roads point to a higher gold price. I'm fairly certain that we will be looking to add more to our gold mining position this week. Where is silver? There we go. Okay, silver's breaking out. Has broken out, I should say. Broke out on Friday, retest of support. It looks as though it's holding. Here you have higher lows on RSI. I think that silver is going to go up. Very, very nice. Let's see what else we have. Let's check out the volatility index. You know, it happened again last night, although it's not following through this morning. When we initially went positive on the markets after the Navarro comments were walked back, you saw the S&P 500 up, and of course the VIX options up as well. And we continue to see that on and off, and we saw it immediately prior to the big sell-off back in February, March. But we have broken support here. And today we do have a new daily low. Let's check out corn pulling back, doing a retest of what was resistance is now support. Wheat, which has been weak, remains weak. Possible bottom here. Short term anyway, on wheat. Weekly chart. Interesting week so far. It's early. Be interested to see whether or not wheat closes positive this week. That would be very, very bullish. So we're watching for inflation here. Tips. I went over this with members yesterday on Market Wrap. We went over the price of tips, Treasury inflation protected securities. They broke out yesterday to all-time highs. And the Federal Reserve out there saying, "Oh, we're waiting for inflation." You're going to get it. Oats, not much happening here. Let's check out energy. So we intentionally stopped out of our leveraged ETF, putting us long of nat gas. You guys, be careful of these funds. They're issued by Credit Suisse, and they will no longer be trading, or may not be trading. I need to be careful here what I say. They may trade on the OTC. Natural gas popping up higher, but down on the session by about just shy of a percentage point. Where is you guys? I'll refer you to do your own research on this, but just be careful of these leveraged ETFs. Here is you guys. Here's the article. AG announces its intent to delist and suspend further issuances of Velocity shares. So, on that news, we exited. And the strange part is they finally started to rally. We had a multi-day back-to-back rally, and them's the breaks. Okay, we're going to go to about 5:30 this morning. So I'll take some requests. All right, I'm not liking this. There we go. That's better. Okay. Let's take a look at what we have first here. SQ is the first one, I believe. Okay, Square, weekly chart, new weekly high. And I believe a new all-time high. Very nice price action here. There's nothing not to like. Daily chart. You have a bit of resistance above at around 10, let's call it 106.50. You can see that we hit a high yesterday of 104.22. This is a rising resistance level. It's extrapolating out prior highs. If you're wondering why we have resistance above when we're at all-time highs, and it's moving up rather quickly. So 106.50 is new daily resistance. So I think that there's a very good chance that we proceed higher here. And I'll just note that we are, of course, really extended here on these Stokes. RSI has more room to run. So I think net, the path of least resistance remains higher here for Square. You know, we did see yesterday, this is a 4-hour chart. You saw yesterday Another run at highs, which it succeeded in doing, but it didn't hold those highs. So if by chance we get a pullback today and you get a retest of support at 103.50, 103.40, or for an extreme pullback, 101.22, that would be a good place to enter using a stop loss just below. That's SQQQ. Load. Comstock Mining. All right, we have broken out on Comstock. Spot 756 was resistance. It is now support on a weekly basis. Obviously, we haven't closed there yet, so we want to keep that in mind. Let's go to a daily chart. Very nice. Good daily breakout. I think that we're probably going up higher here. Maybe we'll get a retest of support. But I think longer term, we are moving up higher on Comstock. Oh, SQ's popping up in RL? Gotcha. Thank you. 4-hour chart looks very, very good. We broke out, retested that final 4-hour bar. I think we move up higher. Load looking good. For gold, excuse me, folks. Here's a quarterly chart. Let's do a top-down view of gold. Here you have it. We are poised to finish the quarter out very, very strong. We closed out the day yesterday, 1766. All-time highs are at 1923 spot 70. The path of least resistance remains higher. I will note that we are poised to close out the quarter into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. There's a lot of demand here, and you can see that we could stay. You go back to the bull run of the 70s, not so much of the 2000s, but of the 70s, we stayed elevated due to demand and inflation for quite some time relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. But during the last big rally higher, you could see that we reversed off of the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, with the exception of the first few quarters. I think it's fair to say this is probably where we're at in this cycle of this rally, where we were between, let's call it, October 2002 through to, let's say, Q1 of 2004. Monthly chart. So again, all-time highs going back to September 2011. So far this month, we have a bullish reversal bar. And yesterday, we did put in a new month-over-month high. And just drilling down to a daily chart now. We have a daily chart with a doji formation, sign of indecision. So might we, at some point in time this week, pull back and do a retest of 1740? Maybe. It's quite possible. Volume was really good yesterday. So gold looking sharp as we proceed into the new trading day. And really, let's face it, it's got everything in its back. It has... It has, again, geopolitical. It has domestic, Orwellian, apocalyptic type events unfolding here in the United States. Basically, the wheels are coming off. And we have plenty of concerns fiscally. I do have a couple of other chart requests here. Well, I have a bunch of them. 21. Okay, no, I actually did some of these. All right, good. SQQQ from Matt. All right. For disclosure purposes, SQQQ. We have a position in. And it's a hedge. This puts you short of the trip Qs. And we're down on the session. We're coming off the lows, though. Let's go to the... Where is it? SQQQ. Pro shares. All right, so a few weeks ago, we saw a bullish reversal bar. Last week, an outside reversal bar. This week, we do have a new low, a closing low. So we put on this trade as a hedge, because I was worried about the VIX. Before I go to the VIX, let's finish off with the daily analysis. We have a possibility of a higher low here on RSI. We had a weak price action yesterday. Volume dropped off. Now, odds clearly favor bulls here for the market, and it does not favor SQQQ. Now, the only reason why we put this hedge on was because of the VIX. Not so much the weekly view, because it was fairly bearish, but we had a beautiful bullish reversal bar on the 19th. And I was concerned that we were going to break out yesterday, which we did. We even put it in a new daily high on Monday, but it couldn't hold it, and we pulled back. So I want to give this another day. I want to see how we hold up here. Do we sell off, or do we hold these gains? Because when you take a look at volume, we go to the trip Qs, because obviously the SQQQ puts you short of the trip Qs. When you take a look at volume, price action was very good. Look at this volume. It's horrible. Horrible up volume. However, we are very close to putting in new all-time highs in the trip Qs. If they break it out to new all-time highs, they can keep it going higher on very, very light volume, because there's no overhead supply. No sellers waiting to get whole. So therefore, we don't have a bunch of sellers acting as resistance where you need a lot of rocket fuel vis-a-vis volume to break out and above. So we kept the position small, and we will look to add more if we're proven right. We'll look to stop out if we break out to new all-time highs. Simple as that. I'm not going to fight this market until such time as it says to get short. RL, we'll leave off with your request. ARGX. What sector is this in, RL? My guess is biotech. I'm getting that biotech feel out of the name. All right. So we broke out the week of the 25th. This is a weekly chart. Yeah, okay. Rallied up into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, got the typical pullback. We have gapped up this week, back above support. We're off the highs of the week. Stokes look good. They're flattening out. RSI is looking good. It's up 10% pre-market. Oh, up $10. Gotcha. So here we had a breakout on a daily basis. Stokes are beginning to flatten out. Possible higher low on RSI. We broke down. Now we're trying to find a floor. Now, just be careful. You know, when you have your Stokes well down below the 50 mark, and, you know, while they're flattening out, they haven't completely flattened out just yet, or created a W formation like you saw back here. And it may not happen. It may just V-shape up or U-shape up. But ideally, you get this W pattern set up. So I wouldn't chase the shares in the morning until this is resolved and these Stokes are hooking up, and ideally above the 50 mark on a daily basis. I like the close yesterday. We gapped up yesterday, pulled back, filled pretty much most of the gap, and at least filled the gap that opened up between the pivot point here on the 17th, the high of the 17th. RSI moving in the right direction. The chart looks good. It's breaking out. Here's the pre-market activity. Okay, here's your gap up. No new daily high yet. But the chart looks good. And with that, folks, I'm going to say please smash that like button. Everybody have a very, very profitable day. And I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Be well.